Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the History of Fan Anime. I'm your host, William Chow. In today's episode, we're going to get back into a new decade. Okay, so I already did the top 30 OAVAs, TV shows, and movies for the 1980s. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the 1990s. Okay, so I'll start from 1990 and work all the way up to 1999 and go through each and all these significant titles from every single year and then build a big top 30 countdown. So again, this is going to take me a while. It took me almost 14 episodes to do it for 1980, and this one probably will be a lot longer because there's now the the new generation. Like my generation, started in the 80s, and of course we had to suffer through a lot of things. Like no translations and very hard distribution, with the VHS tapes and all that stuff. But now, in the 1990s, the anime companies started kicking in. So now there's basically a source that a lot of people can get certain types of animes and that kind of stuff. Big boom in the new OAVAs and animes and movies that sort of came out. So a lot more titles we can deal with. So, it's going to be a little bit harder than the 80s just because of the sheer volume. But again, we'll go through it all and it'll make this list of the top 30 titles for you. I'd like to remind you to go down below and click like and click subscribe. And if you like, you can put a little comment about your experience with this, because that always helps the YouTube algorithm. And again, if you want to support me financially, I do have the super thanks button down below, as well as the links for the PayPal and Patreon. We have special episodes and that kind of stuff for the subscribers and the donators to this channel. And again, there's a link below which has all the database, which all the episodes of the history of fan anime, as well as the bonus episodes for the subscribers. So again, check that link out below. It really would help greatly. Thank you. Workings of the 1990s and what animes will end up on our top 30. All right. So without further delay, let's begin. Now, from the last video, we left off at Detonator Organ, so we will continue from there. And again, throughout the 1990s here, there's going to be a lot more OVAs and a lot more movies that we have to deal with. So, these multi-part episodes might, be more of the norm just because of the, how much anime has been really taken off, okay? But we'll get through it. Okay, so we're going to continue up there, and the next one on the list is Kekko Kamen. Now, this is really, this was actually one of the very few Go Nagai things that I actually like. Next other one is Devilman Lady. But, this one really, does a really good job drawing the female character designs, right? So, normally Go Nagai stuff is, in my opinion, really poorly drawn, right? Non-uniform faces and, non-traditional even for that matter. When you look at things, that he normally does, Abrashi Families is one example. The original, the early Devil Man, for example, is another example. So I don't really like his art style normally, but on this one, totally revamped it, okay? And it's important because, this is an very key point to the anime. It is, a female superhero that you basically, no one knows who the face is, but everyone knows who the body is, right? Kind of thing, right? Because so it is important to draw that properly, right? Because that's who you're marketing to, right? The 3Gs, girls, guns, and gore, right? So, make sure that at least that's properly drawn. Again, that's probably the big, huge appeal. And when 80 Vision decided to pick that as up as their, soft smut kind of stuff, that was one of the probably key titles that they had to grab in order to get that. Okay, so again, it was because of the fact that it got released, relatively, and licensed relatively early. Not a lot of fan subs and that kind of stuff of this came out because they already knew that 80 Vision already had their, their fingers in the pot, and they knew that it was going to come out, soon enough. So not too many fan subbers really, got under the band to work on that. But definitely, in terms of Go Nagai stuff, I would recommend this one. If you're looking into what is that for a little bit of that spark, that pushes the edge of the hentai there. Definitely this is one of those ones. And again,
sort of a more modern version of how Go Nagai normally does this stuff. So that's always good. The next one on the list is the Ozanari Dungeon. Now again, I've commented that they've always at this time just starting to push into these RPG adventure Dungeons and Dragons type of stuff, right? Now we've done things like East and that kind of stuff, which are and Dragon Quest, which are actually based off of RPGs. Wizardry is another one. And then we have we're gonna have better ones like Arslan and Rugged Lost Wars. Then now we're gonna start getting into some more comedic ones. Okay, so again, again a party of various different natures going on and doing different things and going into the dungeon and getting their treasures and that kind of stuff. A nice host of characters. The one interesting one is the magic user that the little kind of I guess it's like a pet magic user type of guy. He doesn't actually say anything. He uses signs, right? So I remember watching the fan sub for this one, and it was not that easy because at the time the softwares weren't really good at positioning text in different parts of the screen. It was hard to subtile that guy's signs whenever he puts up his sign of what's happening, right? So it's really kind of it's a kind of a comical sort of deviation for your standard RPG thing. So that's why a lot of people kind of gravitated toward that one. And it was a fun series, nice and short, 3 episodes, and it was really a good watch, right? A fun watch, anyway, I should say. And the last one on this line is a Sate Dance. Okay, so this is a very short OVA. It was based on the manga, kind of a quick overview of the manga of the same name. A lot of people were sort of kind of interested in it, because again, the manga had some popularity. The artwork was actually pretty nice. I do have the manga for it, and I thought it was all right. But it just wasn't. There's something about it that I didn't really, that really caught me. I mean, there's other mangas, that kind of stuff, that drew better, like had better art style. Orange Road, Maison Kaku, and the list can go on in that respect. And the story wasn't that, didn't stand out in my mind, right? So that's probably why I didn't go after this one right away, and basically try to do a fan sub or anything of this particular one. And also, and I think most people thought the same way. Not a lot of people had this one. I vaguely remembered in a video rental store, and I saw it there, but I never ended up getting back to that video store to sign out and rent it out and whatnot, so I couldn't see it at that time. But I didn't think it was much of a loss because we're in an era where we're really getting a lot of OVAs out, and this is one of those ones that if you didn't pay attention right away, it's just gonna slip through and get lost in the shuffle. Okay, so continuing along here, we have the Heaven Wars Shirato OVAs. Now, again, obviously, if you've watched the series and you liked it and all that kind of stuff, then here's some more OVAs for you. Now these ones are done a little bit differently. It focuses more on the thing between Shirato and Guy and some weird stuff going on there. And but it was all right. I mean, I like the series. I think it would have been funnier if they actually made some episodes of the for example, the comedy CDs and that kind of stuff that they made. Those might have been a lot funnier. So, but this is what they made. So again, if you're interested in Shirato, here's some more OVAs for you. Okay, the next one is Esper Xenon. Now this is an odd one. This one is one of these sort of one-shot, nobody knows about it OVAs. Again, it wasn't very well traded. No one's fan subbed it or anything. And obviously it's totally forgotten by all the companies. But it actually has some really good production qualities. The main character designer is this person named Yuji Moriyama, and he's pretty famous actually. He does everything from very big titles at this time, such as Maison Kaku, Urusei Yatsura is what got him started. But he did a lot of work with a lot of the OVAs and that kind of stuff in this sort of era right now. Cream Lemon, he does Project Eiko, Lunar Vulgar, I mentioned earlier on. Kakro Nuku Nuku, TTS Airbats, Compiler. So again, Kiyosumiya does the manga and that kind of stuff for compiler. But of course, he did the OVA character design for that. But things like what else is it? He does Fire Emblem, Kotetsu, Agent Ayaka, which is again one of the key highest number of panty shot animes that are out there. So he's really got a lot of good stuff coming up. And again, he'll also do things like Sayuki, the TV series, Tokyo Underground. Okay, so a very good cast of character like production stuff. Okay, but again, totally unknown OVA. Again, it goes over the trope of the nerdy otaku gamer type that sits at home type of thing, and all of a sudden this beautiful girl comes out, i.e. Video Girl Eye type of stuff going on, and of course this ensues some sort of superhero type of thing. So the Last Starfighter kind of complex. And then there we go. Basically, try to show off as much skin as possible without getting it R-rated, and that pretty much is the formula for the OVA. So not that exciting in terms of plot and how that's the story's going to go, but definitely production wise is really good. So again, if you want to look for something that's super obscure with some half decent production quality, this one might be one for you. But otherwise, yeah, in terms of regular people following and that kind of stuff, this is totally unknown, and nobody paid attention to this one. Okay, so we can continue on to the next line here. Next one right away is the Chojin Lock, so Lock to Superman. After making the movie, now that we have another short sort of OVA 2-episode kind of add-on type of story type of thing, more adventures of, and so again, to follow that franchise, they decided to make more. So it's always good, yeah. If you're a good fan of that, then there you go, some more episodes of that. Next one is Energy Night and the Lamine 40 EX. So these are the EX OVAs. Yeah, they made 3 of these ones. Now, again, after watching Lamine 40 and Fire, which is the second series of that kind of show series. They decided, okay, we're gonna make some OVAs to make some, kind of, subsequent episodes, so more episodes, focusing on Milk and, one of the, lamines, right, or lemon, or whatever you want to, they do for these OVA things, right. Now, on this one, they decided, okay, instead of having a normal story, with them trying to, use the powers to save them both sort of, universes and that kind of stuff. Let's try to do another OVA, but let's just try to get as much skin and everything else as possible to kind of, focus on the female characters, basically Milk and Coca, right? Try to get as much sort of skin service as possible without making it R type of thing, right? So again, if you follow the series, that's great. This is eye candy, and it's all really kind of cute and good. So that's it helps kind of finalize that relationship between Milk and the lemonade, whatever you want to call them at that particular time, right? Next one is Izumo. Okay, so this is another one of these OVAs, but like the many of the other ones. Great production staff, but nobody knows about it. Okay, again, feudal Japan kind of stuff. So obviously, you when we first got these things, it's kind of didn't have really good penetration in the West because we just don't understand it, right? No translation. It's a feudal Japan sort of love story with a little bit of conflict in there, and it's kind of not that exciting, right? So no one translated it really, and it was pretty much ignored for the most part, and again lost to time basically. But the production quality really good. Character design is a Sayuri Ichisi. Okay. Now again, when he made this one, there's nothing too exciting about it, but he will later on go on to make. To be the key character designer for Pokemon. Okay, so he's done like everything for the TV series, the movies, the 2000 movie. He also does the work on the Usher and Totora OVA. So, I mean, he's done lots of cool stuff for that. The other really interesting thing about this is that the two main characters are some of some of the biggest names in Seiyu, in female Seiyus. Um, the one character is done by Hiromi Su, which is the woman who does Orange Road, Madoka's voice, and of course the character is done by Megumi Hayashibara, which of course does everything from like Ranma, Renge, and Shirado, Ray and Neon Genesis Evangelion and Leon, Lena Inverse and Slayer. So a really really big name is in this anime OVA, but again, no one knows what it is, and like no one really distributed it, and for the most part, no one's licensed it. So it's gonna be one of those ones that kind of slips into the obscurity of anime. So again, if you're into that kind of thing, this might be another one of those you want to add on to your list of obscure watching. Okay, so we continue down the list here, and we got two more titles here, which I did the fan subs for. We got this Hoshiku Paradise or Stardust Paradise. Again, it's based on the manga, and again, I picked up the manga and I thought it was rather kind of interesting, idol singer, relationship type thing, and so I was really into these idol things, Creamy Mommy, Pastel Palisha, Magical Emmy, all those type of shows were all kind of idols, stuff, right? And so this is an OVA based on that kind of stuff, and again, I like the character design. It's that nice, cover artwork that I liked, very Madoka kind of like style too, right? But just with nice finer lines on the manga. So I decided, okay, the lasers came out, so why not? I'll go pick this one up, and we'll do the fan sub for that one. So if you're interested in one shot kind of idol thing, that's in your category, this is definitely one to check out. The next one is also on the list is called the Lika-chan. Okay, this is a something that's drawn by Akimi Takada, so the same person who does Orange Road and Creamy Mommy and things like that. Quite essentially a Alice in Wonderland type of story, mixing some elements. So I mean, there's a lot of this kind of girl goes into another dimension sort of thing, kind of stories, and they keep following this sort of Alice in Wonderland theme. Whether or not it's something like Carol, which is more like the Wizard of Oz. Then there's Miyuki-chan in Wonderland, which is also sort of a Clamp's way of doing the Alice in Wonderland through the looking glass type of story. And again, because of the character designer, I said, okay, yep, no, definitely, I got the lasers for this one, and also did the fan subs for this one, to get that out there. So again, I thought they were really nice, one shot, really easy to, to like sort of watch and light sort of feel to them. Again, good character design on them, and good good production on them. So I guess without the fan subs of these things, I think a lot of people would have overlooked these ones. Okay, so we continue on with the OVAs, and there's nothing more significant there. We can see the next line is the Mahjong guy. Again, more episodes for him. I have a personal favorite for things for Mahjong animes and that kind of stuff, just because I like them, but no one else does. So I'll just continue on here, and we'll go on to the movies now. Right off the bat, we have the Dragon Ball Z movie, the 5th movie. Okay, so the next installment of the Dragon Ball Z movies and whatnot. So it's for the Dragon Ball fans, that's always really exciting. So more addition to that franchise. The next one is the next edition for Studio Ghibli. Now they've released one called Omae de Poporo. Okay, so again, if you like that sort of that light style that you see in things like Nausicaa and Laputa and whatnot, these artists from coming on with the next installment from the Studio Ghibli design is of course this movie. So. And it's always that's nice. I know we use this one a few times in our meetings. Whenever we're looking for movie features, a nice sort of wholesome sort of movie type of thing. Really good artwork on these ones. Now, because of course, Studio Ghibli has high quality artwork and that kind of stuff, and nice orchestration for those things. So high production quality on that kind of a movie. Next one is Rujin Z. Okay, so the guy that's gonna come up with Akira and all that kind of stuff later on comes up with this sort of light sort of story which is kind of neat. Um, Again, it's another of the sort of stories that we kind of throw into our meetings once in a while. Just because it is a new movie and that kind of stuff. So it's worth checking out. Nothing weird and like eye shocking as it were, because it's a more to life story. So that's fine. Okay, so we continue onwards. We have the Urusur Yatsura movie. So this is the sixth final movie of that set of Urusur Yatsura series. So again, you have a big long TV series. A whole bunch of OVAs and movies. Finally, they've kind of run out of things that they want to do, and so this is the sixth and final movie for that series. So again, nice get in for the franchise. Next one is a nice important one. MyAnimeList and Kiyasumiya's work. Again, he's been releasing lots of stuff recently. Dead Near Oregon, and now this one. Big movie, Silent Mobius, the motion picture. Now I remember we did a quite big nice feature of this one because they said this one got released in North America, but only as an English dub for the longest time, and so a lot of people didn't like that because it wasn't really well dubbed. And so I know when we did the subtitles for this one quite early, and then I know that later on, one of my customers decided that he really liked it and he wanted it to be redone. So he spent a lot of time doing Silent Movies 1 and 2 and put together and put that on the thing. And he spent a lot of time, like a month doing all the timing corrections and grammar and formatting and everything else like that for each of these movies, and made a really bang up production job for that. We used it a lot during our Douglas College meetings and that kind of stuff when we had the big screen because it really was it had everything from action. It had a touch of comedy, and again, it's a really well done movie. So it's touches on so many different little topics and that kind of stuff. It has a really wide appeal. So again, definitely a good movie to check out for sure. And the last one is Dragon Quest, the movie. So again, for those people who just finished the Dragon Quest TV series that they just did earlier on, now they got a movie which follows up more for that franchise. Okay, so we continue on with more movies here. Let's see, Ziggy was interesting. That was more of like a music video of more stuff. Again, no one really knew what it was, and no one really distributed, so that remained pretty obscure. And yeah, that pretty much does all of it for the movies. Now we have one special which sort of came out. This is the Lupin III Napoleon's Files. Now this is again one of those another sort of those. We're just gonna add another sort of episode sort of thing of Lupin, because again Lupin's pretty popular. Not long enough to be like a full length like a movie or anything like that, but definitely releasing more little short sort of mystery type of things and more adventures of Lupin kind of thing. And they released it. I mean, there's nothing really much more different than, let's say, things like the Fuma conspiracy, or Tokyo, Babylon and things like that. All those type of things are just more stories for Lupin, and this is another part example of. So again, if you like that that franchise, definitely they keep releasing these newer sort of more updated versions of that series from that. So it keeps the franchise alive, definitely for sure.
All right, hope you found that really interesting. And again, we'll be getting into more episodes as we go through the whole entire decade of the 1990s. All right, so until next time, I will see you again.